Yes.
And we start from the beginning, okay? Okay, hold on. Let me put some music on. Oh, hold on. Let me put the title card first. And then it's just like we're starting, dude. Okay. Okay! The Sundays. This music.
I really like this jingle. Now
This music is going to
head all the time.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. What's up, man?
It's great. Like nothing's happened.
Nothing happened.
Exactly.
We're all good.
Happened.
So sorry about that, guys. For some of you that you joined us before, we were having technical difficulties.
Yes.
Difficulties.
Yes.
And now we had to change this over here. So let me pop up the chat. For all of you guys that are just joining us, please pose your questions here and on the chat,
mm-hmm.
and also whatever. I don't know, just tell us where you're coming from on the comments, and if you have any questions for us, just let us know. Yeah, and for those that were joining us on our streaming before, we're really sorry, and thanks for being here with us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's start again. So again. It's been 2 weeks. We haven't done this.
Yes, because there were holidays.
It's kind of slow. And then also in the news, in the design world, it's kind of slow too, right?
Yeah, it's
not
slow.
a lot of things happening.
I think not many people announce things during holidays, huh?
Yeah, not a lot of breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And just like amazing stuff.
See.
But some news.
No, some.
Some cool stuff. Like the guys from UX Design, the blog post.
Uh-huh. Yes, I saw that. I really love your illustrations there, by the way.
Yes. So yeah, shameless plug there. I made the illustrations for that. So like what they think 2017 for product designers
I saw
they
that.
expect, which is I think it was good. It was a good article. We can talk about it later a little bit better. I think probably that deserves like its own show.
Yes.
You know, where we talk about our predictions.
We'll do that.
And we bring the magic ball. What do you call those?
No, like and 8. What was that? 8 ball.
Just the one that it just like tells you the future.
Yes,
and we
exactly.
see like what do designers. What is the future for designers? And then we can tell you all of our stuff that we just make up. We're just going to make up stuff, and people are going to say, "Oh yeah, I totally agree with that." I feel like all of those kind of articles are, because I see a lot of those. It's just like what the trends for 2016 in design, and it's always just like come on. And a lot of predictions are coming. I don't know. Like sometimes it just feels like it is as valid as reading a horoscope sometimes.
I think such is life. Like we have lots of things out of our control.
Yeah.
I think it's good to make predictions. At least it's creative practice.
But what if that prediction actually it just becomes a reality because it was predicted?
Yes, but it depends who predicts it then.
That's true. But so, whoa, what happened there? Okay, well now it's black. Hey, hi guys. So what I'm saying is that so if you're a more important person, is that what you're saying? It's just like
I mean, sure, there are some influencers that could actually influence the situation by just predicting things, but it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah. So. I suppose like design superstars, and then they go on the Twitter and they say like, I predict that in 2017 this is going to happen, and then it happens because people are like listening to this person, right?
Yeah, I mean, say that Google says that okay, this kind of design style is going to be big in 2017, and actually releases a standard. There you go. That's
true.
Educated prediction.
That's true. Well, yeah, and I mean, if it's coming from Google,
educated prediction.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, and how do you educate yourself? I suppose with data and also like you just work in the field and know a lot of people and what they're actually working, so you can.
But let's make that a show about this, like maybe in upcoming weeks.
Yeah, let's do one where a little bit more closer to 2017, and then we can do our own predictions and talk about like what other people are predicting.
Yes, and this week we were going to talk about.
How to be productive.
Productive, yes.
So a lot of people ask us. I get this asked a lot. I don't know about you, but it's like, hey, so how do you
I
keep?
don't know that about you. What does that mean?
No, I don't know if you get asked this question too. But how do you keep yourself being productive and putting stuff out there and I suppose you like having a design team. I suppose it's a. What do you recommend for teams to keep themselves
I
motivated
see.
and just like keep like I don't know dealing with deadlines and also keeping yourself inspired and also producing at the same time like good work,
Yes.
you know, or great work. So how do you do that? Whereas like you're dealing with time, you're dealing with priorities, you're dealing with inspiration and your feelings, and you're also dealing with quality.
I see. That's a great question. I don't know if I'm a productive person myself.
How can you?
I don't know.
You're a manager. You're just like a design leader.
But the thing is, I think one of the ideas about being a manager is, or doing certain thing is because maybe you're not good at it, or we are not good at it. Like if we all were good at managing time and being productive, we wouldn't need anyone to manage things for us. So I
Yeah.
think that is very natural. We try to control things towards a direction where it's very efficient and effective,
Yeah.
and do our best, but there are always unpredictable situations. Um, Personally and professionally, I think there are different. There are different domains. There are different worlds.
Yeah.
I have different ways of being productive personally. I have different ways of being productive professionally. But I feel like there's one saying that how you do anything is how you do everything. So I try to start from personal productivity to perhaps productivity as a collective.
Yeah. So I like that. Whereas like how you do small things, it's
Yes.
how you do also like large things.
I
right?
believe
Whereas,
it reflects. So I don't know, but it's been maybe 3, 4 years. I used to be a very messy kid. I wouldn't like to tidy up my room, and but it's been 3 years now. I make my bed every morning. It is
Yeah.
just a it's just a ceremony for me that every morning I have to make sure that my room is tidy before I leave. Everything is in this right set and mindset. And I actually realized that that reflects to everything I do at work as well. Very
Awesome.
interesting.
Yeah, I think I've been doing actually this thing that you're mentioning just like for a long time, where it's like tidying up my room, and sometimes you don't really clean it, but you just put stuff so it looks good. You know, it's
Yeah.
just making the bed is it makes such a huge difference. You know,
Yeah, it's a
And then-
simple thing, but it does
It's a
huge
simple
difference.
thing, and then you come back from work after work, and then you come and your bed is done.
Yes.
It feels so good. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm coming back home and my bed is done, and I can just relax a little bit.
It's, I think, more or less like, okay, first productivity tip, make your bed.
Make your bed.
Make your
Yes,
bed.
there you go. Number one.
Like every morning, make sure that I feel where I'm living, everything is messy. I tend to also have all around the place at work as well. So when I try to keep things under my control or in a nice setup, in a tidy setup, I feel like that also reflects to how I do, for instance, my emails. Like I first spend some time at work to go through my day, maybe answer some of my emails in different times.
Yeah.
But if I am already very messy at home, I just left in a very hurry, I feel like that reflects to my day as well.
Yeah. How you do the small things reflects. I suppose it's not just about character, but also like in the moment. If you do something like this, your day is going to be like fall down.
Yes.
Like every action that you take is going to have repercussions during the
True,
day, right?
true.
Okay.
So
yeah, I
that's
like
one
that.
thing. Starting the day good and right. It takes a while for me to leave home, but I feel
Smile. Yeah. Pretend you're happy. Look at yourself in the mirror, just like you can do it. Just like
actually it works. I read it somewhere. There was a TED talk. It was talking about how your perception actually shapes your reality, and there is a physical aspect to it as well. Say
That's why I
if you
did
go
this.
to bathroom and then just have a nice posture or smile, I think there's scientific evidence that it boosts your confidence naturally.
yeah. It is. Yeah, I think I saw that tech talk, and it was someone about like having to fake it till you make it. Is it this one or?
I'm not really sure. I can't remember.
But
I think I just remember the gist of it.
Yeah, but it is it has been, at least there are a lot of studies out there that just smiling and just doing it just like does something. Just like the physical then tricks you, not tricks you, but at least gives you that emotion too, because usually you do the opposite, right? Whereas you try to you say like, hey, I want my body to reflect that I'm happy. So then you trick your body to do that, right?
Yes.
But what if you do the opposite, where your body tricks your, like, the
Yes.
body tells your mind, hey, be
Yes.
happy because I'm smiling, so be happy.
It's actually something I wanted. It's in my notes. One thing that I realized that okay, what is the other way of maybe productivity is not very productive, or procrastination is one of those things that stops us from productivity. One thing I realized is when we are trying to achieve something, we usually wait to get motivated about it or get inspired about it, and then do a huge chunk of task.
Yeah.
What I realized is that if you start from, instead of like inspiration to action, if you do action, inspiration, action, which is, by the way, there's a great author called Mark Manson. I don't know if you ever read it.
No.
But the guy is great. I like his approach. But this is one of those he suggested. And after reading his article, I started applying that too. So instead of waiting to get inspired or motivated to accomplish a larger action, which actually might be really hard to accomplish, you start from a smaller action, which actually inspire to do a larger action.
Yeah.
Right? And this is, I think, very similar to what you were saying as well.
Yeah, it's yes. I think we're talking about like just making your bed, right? And just like making your bed is a small thing, but then it has repercussions of
Yes.
what you do next, right? But I like also like the idea of like how to be productive, where you're saying sometimes we stop ourselves from doing something because we're thinking of this big thing,
Yes.
and it looks so big and so hard to do, right? And or so it's hard to start, because how do you do that big thing? And you start small.
Very
You
much
start
like
with little things, right? And like you're saying, you start with this little thing, and then you're going to get a little bit more inspired because of this thing that you did.
True.
And then it follows like the next.
True. Very much like to your point. When you actually smile a bit, it inspires you to have the real smile or more confidence. When you have the small confidence in front of the mirror, maybe it literally gets you to be more confident.
So weird, like I have to admit this. I something that I did. I put reminders on my phone and on my calendar to smile.
Oh.
To smile more, and I like every morning at 8:43 a.m. There's a reminder that says smile.
I should do
And
that too.
And then I don't know, just like I see it, and then like, oh yeah,
Did
I
it
have
work?
to smile, right? And then sometimes I snooze it for remind me next hour, because I'm pretty sure that in 1 hour more I'm going to be like a little bit like
I
so.
see.
So yeah, I have that like every day. I wake up and it says smile.
I see.
And yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where, I mean, I've had it for months. So now I see it as like, oh, where
I see.
when you see a notification that has just been going, you just ignore it.
That's the problem of notifications.
That's a problem of trying to be productive.
So first, make your bed. Two,
Smile.
smile.
Do little things.
Smile.
Yeah,
Yes, do little things before you do. Like one thing that I am a very enthusiastic person about running. But naturally, I don't want to run every morning because it's sometimes cold, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I have headache. So in order for me to motivate myself, I need to motivate myself too. So instead of thinking about going out in the cold and running 10 kilometers or like 6 miles and then coming back.
You run 6 miles in the morning?
Yeah.
No, you don't run 6 miles in the morning.
Why not?
Really?
Yeah.
Every morning you run
Not
6
every
miles?
morning, every second morning.
Oh, okay. That's a lot, dude.
That's
okay.
really fun. But
Okay, cool.
I don't feel like that every morning. So in order to do that, one of those articles I read again helped quite a lot. So if I don't really feel like it, I wear my running shoes. Just running shoes. I don't think that. If that's the first step, I'm going to wear my running shoes. As soon as I wear my running shoes, I think, since I wore my running shoes, now I can just wear my shorts. Then I can wear my t-shirt. Then I get my jacket. Then I find myself out there.
Yeah.
So it's like small actions actually take me to a larger action,
Got
which actually seems to work.
Yeah, so it seems like all this articles where they're telling you is just like trick yourself.
Exactly, because I mean, naturally, you see that progress is out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
And naturally, something that you want to progress or do is not necessarily very comfortable to you.
Yeah.
And a part of it is tricking yourself, I believe.
Yeah, because, but I wish it wasn't like that. In the perfect world, we will wake up and say like, oh, I feel like running. I feel like my body is asking me to do more. And it's like, but it's so hard because like I think our brain is actually telling us like, hey, go back to sleep. What about if you just snooze the alarm a little bit? Yeah. That feels good, right? Turn up the heat. And it's like that's what our mind is it's telling like we have to fight like no.
Yes.
We have to go. Oh, we have to be productive. We have to run.
The situation. And like if we were to act all the time in a comfortable manner, we wouldn't progress. I think that is one of those things that makes us progress personally, as a society, as a civilization. So it's definitely great to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And in order to get out of your comfort zone in a large scale, it perhaps makes sense to first getting out of it in small steps.
Yeah. I think one of the things that for people to like we talked about the basics, right? Where it's just getting up in the morning, feeling good, and just like feeling like you're going to have a good day. And but sometimes just like, for example, something more like a project, an idea that you have.
Yes.
And it's hard to start it, right? Mm-hmm. And so how do you? What are your? For example, you've been writing articles. You've been like, I mean, we're doing this. How do you get started? That I think that's one of the hardest things for people to get to that the first step. How do you do that? What do you recommend?
That first step,
yeah.
I start from the smallest thing.
The smallest thing.
Smallest thing.
Small
like
steps,
it's usually like checking email because it's very easy. Checking email helps.
No, that usually doesn't. Just like then you start suddenly like, oh, 20 minutes went away because I was checking my email.
Oh, okay. So let me give you background. I check my emails in batches.
In batches,
yeah. So I don't have notifications on. I don't have email apps installed on my phone. I only check my mails perhaps 3 times a day.
Okay.
So if there is something very urgent, people know how to reach me. But I check once in the morning, I check right after lunchtime, and I check before I leave. And I definitely skim and scan before, like every now and then, but I try to figure out if there's anything urgent.
Yeah.
But usually when something urgent, people either contact me from Slack or they text me or they call me. Luckily, the world is not in my fingertips, so there's usually not that urgent things coming up. If there is some urgent project going on, I'm usually available or checking more frequently. But taking a look at your emails in batches help a lot with productivity.
That sounds reasonable, yeah. Where it's like you're not just wasting your time on that. It just you allocate time for those things. But I think I'm talking more about like starting a project, like something that you're really into, or like you're talking about like allocating time for that. But it's like, how do you? We suffer from this paralysis or this like this fear to take that first step to like that big idea that you have. How do you overcome that fear? How do you say, hey, you know what? Screw it, I'm gonna do it. How do that's one how people want to know
how, like for instance, you just are talking about that we have to have it like go get into a really big project, and how do I motivate myself to get into it? I just do it.
Just doing it,
just
right?
do it.
It's just
you
like
start from somewhere.
Stop thinking too much about
sometimes
it. Sometimes
you think so much, it grows like a huge project. You start thinking about the risks. You just start thinking about the people involved, the risks involved. Yes, great to think about them, but you have to start from somewhere. So I just dive from at some point if I feel stuck.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think for a lot of people, it's just like they will worry too much about like, oh, what are people going to think about? Like, what if I do it wrong? What if I'm not going to be able to make this big thing right away? It's like, no, don't worry about those things. And one of the things here too is like, nobody cares. Nobody.
I'm
cares.
sure there are some people who care.
No, but it's like,
yeah, it's really rare. That
what is the difference if they care? Like, I mean, when you're starting something,
don't say that.
No, what is the difference? Like seriously, it's just like you start something, you do it, and
People care. Like,
so what? Well, if they care, that's good. That's a good thing if they care, you know. But you should stop
I hope
thinking
they
that they
care.
are.
I like to think that I do something meaningful.
No, see, you think that.
I mean,
We
I like
think
to
that.
think that.
We
yeah. I
want
like
to think that. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is important.
That is the
But
way to
people
trick myself.
Don't care. People don't care what you
Some,
do.
but maybe
They will
one
care eventually.
Maybe one person cares. Then you know.
That's great, but you shouldn't stop yourself from then motivate yourself for that person that cares, you know. But don't stop yourself from thinking like, oh, are people going to criticize my work or are going to?
That's tough.
So and I think it's hard. It's hard to overcome that little fear that you have.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's a tough one. So to be honest, I don't think that there is any. Say, I do windsurf, right? And I was thinking if I got to learn the windsurfing better and better, I wouldn't feel that fear every time I got into water. No, every time I'm scared. Every single time I go out to the ocean, I am scared, and it never goes away.
You want to be scared though. You want to have that
yeah,
fear
maybe
because
thrill,
that keeps you alive,
yeah,
right? Too because
like, same with the motorbike. Every time I turn that on, I know that oh man, I might die today.
yes, exactly, and it's good. You don't want to be too comfortable on the motorcycle because then you start doing stupid things.
Oh man,
you know?
yeah, you do.
Like me, I crashed my motorcycle. I crashed. I was feeling a little bit too comfortable, and after that, I have a fear for the motorcycle to get back on it. But as probably keep that fear, use that fear to motivate you and to keep you alive, to keep you alive. Yes. So yeah,
okay, the productivity.
So I think one thing I took some notes. So
okay, cool.
Start small.
Start small. I think we are agreeing on that. Okay. Start small.
Start small. Yes. So start small.
Make your
Don't
bed,
overthink
start
it.
small.
Just do it, right?
Okay, cool.
And I think I put some that is related here.
Okay.
So stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting your again. Stop thinking too much about the. Oh, there you go. I have see
calendar. He's not kidding. There's just a calendar notification says smile.
Yes, there's a calendar notification. I can see in my computer. It says smile. And there's a happy face that telling me, "Hey, smile."
Smile.
I don't know. Sometimes it's good to have it and just like you smile, and then your day gets a little bit better. You know.
Okay.
So don't hesitate. Just do it.
Oh,
you
just
have
do it.
something and you have that idea. Yeah, it's not gonna be great.
Just do it.
You know, it's not gonna be great when when people make amazing movies, they don't start with a perfect script. You know, they start with a really crappy script. They start with a story that is crappy, that is bad. But they start with something. That little crappy story will turn into a story, a Pixar story that makes millions and millions of dollars, you know? But you start with that small, crappy thing. And it's okay. That's part of it because then you're going to start iterating. You start try different things.
Yes.
And I don't know. I think that is one of the ways to lose the fear. Just like starting small.
Yeah, starting small definitely helps. That is something like... I told you that I'm running a lot, right? One thing, I used to hate running. I used to hate running because after 10-15 minutes, I would run out of breath. It would feel like I'm gonna die. My whole body would feel so much in pain. And then I realized I didn't know how to run. Yes, because apparently there's some rate, a heart rate that you can run comfortably. This is where the aerobic, how would you say? There's you burn the oxygen, right? And then there is a heart rate zone where you actually don't get oxygen. It's anaerobic, and I realized that I was getting into running too fast. And I thought that I should be running too fast all the time. But because of that, after 15 minutes of running, I would run out of breath, which means that I would hate running. I wouldn't be able to run more than maybe consecutive 3 days a week or something like that. But as soon as I started my runs from warming up and slowly increasing my pace, I not only were able to run faster, but the most important thing in sports and many other things in life as well, I would do it in long term. Like I would do it consistently. Now it's been, I think I'm running since 2008, almost a couple of times a week, almost like 9 years now. And it's one of those things that you start small, you start warming up, and then you start reaching your peak performance in time.
So you learn through the experience, you learn from your mistake, and then you said like, okay, I have to try it a different way because, and that's something that you can like in your project too.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you apply this concept? It's just like you learn that you were doing it in the wrong way, and then you started doing it in a different way.
Yes.
You iterated on your
Yes.
process of running.
Yes.
So I suppose it's the same when you're on your project.
Yes.
You probably went in a direction that it started feeling bad for you. So then that's not because you should stop being productive or stop with your project. It should be that, hey, probably this is not the right direction. And it's okay to take a step back
That's totally
and say
fine
like,
not
hey,
to be in the right direction.
you know what? And that's good because it helps you to redirect
Yes.
and take the right
Yes.
course, right? So yeah, okay, trying different things.
Yes, it is very rare. What I realized, if you hear and you go, it's more or less impossible or so rare that you can go from one point to another at once in the right direction. So it's usually like you go from different directions and you stop and look where you want to go. Then it's very much like swimming. Have you swam?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're swimming, it is actually very hard for you to catch that line. That requires you to keep on looking at the, like, just raise your head, look to the point that you want to go, and you always actually find yourself, whenever you raise your head, you figure out, oh, actually I'm going towards a completely different direction. But in the end, if you do it regularly, if you breathe every now and then you somehow find that right direction, but it is not a straight line.
Yeah. Usually they tell you, oh, you get your points like this, right?
Yes.
You imagine it's going to be from point A to point B,
Yeah.
just a straight line. But actually, how it is, how you get to point B is by doing all of this. all over all over the world. You explore different things, and then suddenly you're on point B. But it's
pretty much.
But the cool thing is all of those things you did, right, in the
Yes.
process, and
but
all
then
of
you
these
learn,
things
like
you
it
try.
just takes you also from different experiences. I think this one of those things that I would like to give in a productivity tip is quality versus quantity, right? So if you want to be productive, you have to give breaks. You have to take breaks. You have to make sure that you have your high efficiency, and you cannot really keep your efficiency by working 9 hours a day. You either have to take breaks, or you have to have that, I don't know, some people are genetically lucky. They can work like 12 hours straight. But and you can do it maybe for a day, maybe for a week, or maybe for a month. But if you want to do in a long term consistently, you have to know how to take breaks, and those breaks have to be proper.
Yeah, that's a good tactic where it's like, hey, slow down a little bit and like, I don't know, probably think what's going on, or just like give yourself a break, go back. You don't have to like always be running, right?
Yes.
Like you were saying.
And that break has to be a break, really. Like, for instance, one of the productivity tips I can share with you is I never work at home. I've done that mistake earlier. If you work at home, it means that your brain thinks that, oh, I'm living here, but I'm also working here. So when you come home, your brain not necessarily takes a break.
Yeah.
Your brain actually also might be working. By separating the place that you work, or by separating the context of your work and then your break, your actually brain rests much better. So say, if I never work at home, when I come home, my brain contextually thinks that I'm not working, I'm taking a break.
Got it.
So if I have to work, out of work, I just go to a cafe, or I go to somewhere, or I stay at work at late. But when I'm at work, I work. When I'm at home, I take a break.
Got it.
You're different with that, I know.
Yeah, I'm way different on that. It's like I heard about this, and also like, hey, don't bring your computer to bed, because then you wire yourself
That's tough.
to then you're in bed, and bed should be about sleeping and resting, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly you are with your computer, and you're like, I do this all the time, and I'm responding to emails and shit, and I know that's bad. I know it's, and then suddenly I'm watching videos, and suddenly your brain is like, oh, so you're in bed, let's watch a movie, instead of like, hey, or you're in bed, let's rest. No, it's like now in my head it's like, okay, let's check your Facebook.
That kind of
it's like, no, hold on, I wanted to sleep.
How many devices do you have in your bed at any moment at night?
I mean, I will have my phone next to me, or I will just be charging. And when I'm trying to sleep, it's just like it's not like I have my phone here. It's just like waiting for it to vibrate to say, hey, what's up? No, I mean, I don't know. I understand, and it sounds. All those things sound like okay, cool, yeah, it makes sense, right? But I don't know. I'm productive without it.
I mean, I said you're one of those people that I know you somehow can keep productivity by working a lot as well.
Yeah, and I love working from home, dude.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. I can see. You guys don't see it, but this place is like a Toys R Us for designers.
Yeah. So I like I mean, I like to be able to suddenly change my, like you're saying, like change my my back. Sorry, where I am. But then be productive and concentrate on a different project. I usually don't work like my office work here. It is really
so
hard for me
different context.
different context, and then I work on. I think for me, it's not about like I don't never think about it like if it's work. Like I see a lot of blog posts and people talking about like you have to separate work from life and your family and friends versus office and your coworkers. It is like for me it's they're all the same. Like
Really?
life is like work is part of who I am and what I do. Like it's what motivates me, and it's for me I don't see it as work, because usually just work sounds like something that you don't really want to do. And I don't know. I don't feel like I have sometimes to trick myself to do those things, because I already feel motivated. So if I already feel like this is something like you're saying, like that I want to do, I feel like it motivates me to do it, and I think people will like it. Or if they don't like it, I don't care. I just want to do it. So I think it's for me. There's no this distinction between life and work, because for me work is life and life is work.
Really?
And for a lot of people it's really hard to like for example, like in my personal life it's a little bit hard to like separate those things, because for other people it's different, right? Whereas they want to have that moment where it's just about like having discussions, and work is not here. You have to separate that. So sometimes I do have a little bit of conflict with other people, because it's hard for me to there's no distinction for me. It's blurry. That line is really blurry. For them it's really it's really straightforward, you know. So sometimes I will have conflict where it's like I'll be talking about my projects or something that I want people to talk to me about their projects too, and it's something like, no dude, let's do this other thing that is called life. And it's like, well, yeah, everything is life. What are you talking about? So
I from that, what I understand it is productivity is personal.
Yeah, it is what keeps you. I think that there are some tactics to keep you a little bit more to get stuff done. There are tactics that you can follow, but I don't see it as
what if you come across to something you actually don't want to do, but you have to do it? It's work.
Well, I mean, you try. Then what are you doing? Why would you be in a
life
job
cannot be like great all the time. There's gonna be like I think you're one of those lucky people who do what you love, but there always will be times where you have to do something that you don't like.
Yeah, and I understand that, but it's I think it's, if you really are not liking what you are doing, I would suggest like, hey, stop.
I don't know. Do you do accounting?
Well, I'm pretty sure there are accountants that enjoy.
No, I mean, do you do accounting? Like you have to file like tax every year, right?
Yeah, but I use TurboTax. That makes the experience really great. Or I have an accountant that enjoys doing accounting, and they will enjoy doing my taxes for me.
Documentation. Do you like doing design documentation? Do you like it?
Yeah, but now there are programs that help me with that. Zeppelin does a great job of having redline everything.
How about Q&A?
Q&A, what? Oh, yeah, Q&A, yeah, it's, I don't know. So are you saying, like, hey, there are things, again, if you really care about something, you really care about the project, even those things that are not as probably as exciting will feel exciting because you're excited about the project and you're excited about the final goal. I think it's, motivation comes from a different place, and that's what keeps you, like, doing what other people will think that are menial things that are not as meaningful. So I don't know. I think it all comes from like what is keeping you like doing stuff, what is keeping you motivated. And if like you were saying, is mastering the craft of something, like mastering the craft of running and like doing it a little bit better? Is it something that you believe in? It's something, a big thing that is, I don't know, something that is going to change the universe, and that can be something that motivates you? Or probably it's something about, I don't know, different things that just like turn that switch on for you. Like I think
I know what you mean.
You have to find that thing that turns the switch on for you.
Okay.
It can be the craft. It can be the why, where it's just like big picture. It can be the how, where it's like how you do it. That's motivating for you. The craft of it, or it could be the what, right? Like
Find that thing.
Because of this thing that I think it's important. That's what turns the switch for me.
I
So
see.
it is for different things, for different people. Is different.
I see.
For me, I think it's a combination between the how and the why.
How and the
because
why.
I really love the craft too, of how
see.
the things are done.
Are there any certain things that you consistently recognize that motivate you or inspire you? For you, like personal, like something that like consistently when you do something, it always inspires you to do something.
I think just the idea of like getting like my hands dirty and just like doing something, just like feeling like it's like a drug where I feel like I need to do like creating something and doing something. So I think for me it's about the how I'm doing it, and I'm learning and I'm mastering something. So that's what motivates me.
So even the thought of it is motivating for you.
And I think it has its downsides, because like for example, then once I get to know it a little bit, and this is how you do live stream. Okay, now I don't want to do that. Now let's do this other thing that it looks shiny and pretty. So that's a bad thing, because it will be really easy for me to jump to the next thing.
So you sometimes, it has also consequences. Maybe you lose focus, or you're not focused on one thing.
So for a lot of people that have like this, I think it's hard to keep on focus. So I see that's one of the downfalls.
Okay, that's great. One thing that I realize for myself is when I read magazines, I get really inspired.
Oh, really?
Yes, like there's print magazines.
I hate it.
I love it.
I
love it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Tell me why you love it.
I think it's
inspired.
great. You hate it because you remember how did this video podcast idea came?
Mm-hmm.
I just texted you, dude, we should do a video podcast. Mm-hmm. Do you know when did I send you that message?
What?
I was reading a magazine.
Okay.
You see, like I was in a bookshop. I bought an off-screen magazine, which I really like. I was reading someone's story, and I got inspired, and I just texted Paulo, "Hey, Paulo, we should do video podcast." And he said, "Yes." And then now we're here.
Yeah. I understand that, but whenever I see inspiration blog posts or magazines, I get mad. I don't know why.
Right.
I get anxious because
these are blog posts. I don't read blog posts.
No. I mean, magazines, blog posts, they're all the same, dude. I'm sorry.
Really?
Why is it the same?
Okay. First of all,
the blog posts are the new magazines. What are you talking about? No, they're the new articles.
Really? I don't read blog posts.
I do.
Really? I don't read Medium. I hate Medium.
What?
Yes.
You have. I mean, I can understand that. It's really hard to go through all the trash until you find something good.
You remember, there's so much noise versus signal.
Yeah.
I feel really distracted because someone is going to give you 10 tips for being the most productive person. Then the same person is gonna just tell you again, how you should live your life to the most and don't work. And so I get confused because there is no only one way of doing things. And Medium is a great place to find all those inspirational things where people share their thoughts and experiences. But I kind of get confused too much.
Yeah, because I was just telling you about this. You will read, for example, from a magazine, like a blog magazine out there, that it was like, okay, so let's see productivity tips. And it's like how to be more productive or how to do this. And then next blog post will be like how to balance life and work. And it's like, dude, you just told me to be super productive and to be doing all this stuff. And now you're telling me that I need to balance my life and work, and then I need to have some downtime. And it's like, come on, make up your mind. And it's like, obviously they need a...
Yeah, it's okay.
It's hard, yeah. But I wouldn't say that it's like if it's printed and if it's on paper, then it makes them more valid.
Not really. Like I definitely understand. It's just that the in order for you to start printing something, including the how would you say, the cost of creating a blog post is so low. Means that anyone who has access to computer can write, which is great. It's amazing because it enables people. But the cost of creating a print magazine is high unless you don't mind so much about money. But it gets you to think twice. It gets you to like try more to create something valuable because you need to make that valuable to people.
Yeah.
So I'm not really questioning the value of it. They just have, I think, a different value propositions. But I kind of like the magazine part, especially when I read the stories of people, because there are also interviews, right? I read the story of some designer in a different continent, in a different country, and I find it inspiring because sometimes we get carried away with our lives where we just feel like this is the world. No, it's not. Just there are also people going through the similar challenges in a different place in the world. They do certain things differently. Then it kind of inspires me. I don't know, like, does that work with you too?
Yeah, I mean, but again, I feel like we're talking about like, is it the format, which is I don't think they say medium is the message, right? Whereas so for you being printed, it makes it more valid, more important. That is like they really had to think about it because there's a big cost and risk to printing something.
Exactly, because I think the medium, not necessarily because of its medium, but because to put the content on that medium, you have to think and do a lot of more work.
Yeah.
I feel like the quality is different. I'm not really saying every magazine is better than electronic format, but I feel like it inspires me a little bit better because I'm in a real life going to a cafe, I'm drinking my coffee, I'm just like opening, I'm touching those papers, and like somehow I find that it inspires me.
Yeah, I think here is more about perception. For you, perception of being printed, it makes it more valid. For me, I don't. Yeah, I suppose yes, but I don't know. Like for me now, I'm too lazy to do this now.
Really?
I know it's fine, but I don't know. I just like I embrace all the noise. I embrace the noise of the web, and I just like give me more articles and just like fill my brain of crap. I don't care. It's okay. I like it. And then I think we're developing really quickly filters for all that noise on our heads. Like I think we have gotten better to realize what's BS and what's not. Right. Not a lot of people. I want to think that I've gotten better at just like detecting what is just that is just an article that is trying to get SEO and marketing, and it's just like trying to get their users to actually use a product. They don't really care about like what they're writing for, but there are some good publications out there that actually care about their content and is on the web and is like, but they really care about what they're writing. So I think it's more about like filtering through all that crap and finding those.
I hear you. So one place I like to read it, Mark Manson. Just Google the guy; he's really good.
Oh, I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and then the second thing is Wait But Why. I really like that
publication.
Yeah. They write really long form.
Oh, yeah.
And I really enjoy reading those guys, like going through certain thoughts.
I have some tactics to be more creative.
Creative or productive?
These are more like tactical points to be more productive. It's like one is learning to say no.
Oh. That's tough.
This stuff, right? When you want to do everything, and there's someone comes with a big opportunity, something is shiny and cool.
It's actually funny that it comes from you. You don't say no much.
Yeah, it is really hard for me to say no, dude, and that's why suddenly I'm not sleeping because I'm working on all these different projects, and then suddenly I say no to I say yes to someone, and then I realize like 1 month later that I wasn't able to do it, and then. They're like, hey, dude, so what happened? I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I just didn't have time. And I'm sorry. I should have said no.
Ouch, yeah.
So it's something that I'm working on. So, but you guys, you can do it. You can start saying no. And it sounds like say no to drugs. No, say yes to drugs. Say no to bad products or bad ideas. So yes, drugs, no bad ideas. No, it can be a great idea. It can be something that sounds great, but at the end you have to just prioritize.
There's a dilemma there.
Yeah.
Because majority of the crazy ideas come from the ideas that sounded crazy back then.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you say no to that, it perhaps wouldn't happen.
It would haunt you forever. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
man, I said no
Yes.
to designing for Uber. And now
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like-
Two guys came to me and then said that, hey, we're going to replace cab business. We're just going, how? There are going to be people who are driving people from one location to another. Are you crazy? Yeah, a little bit. But do you know there's a concept called entrepreneur's delusion?
yeah.
You have to be a little bit delusional, a little bit crazy in
A
order
little bit
to...
of psychopath, a little bit, yeah. Too.
But like, okay, say no, but say no to things that you know you cannot deliver or you not necessarily have the time for.
Yeah.
It not necessarily means that say no to everything or every idea that doesn't sound feasible to you.
Got it. Yeah. Just like,
Good one, but that's a tough one.
yeah, it's a tough one. One thing too that I think happens a lot in the office and happens in like even if you're not in the office, if you're like in a remote workspace, sometimes you have to say or keep your meetings or get out of the meetings, like not go to the meetings where you're not relevant and or where you're thinking you're wasting your time, or keep those meetings short. So. Do you deal with this? Whereas like meetings sometimes are like, what are we doing here? Okay, we just wasted 1 hour of our time.
My calendar is full of meetings. I can't run away from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of design manager, right?
Yeah. So you have to like.
Communication is a part of my job.
Yeah. So.
And I try to keep it efficient for sure, but it's more or less impossible for me to avoid it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when the company starts getting bigger and bigger, the meetings start getting longer and longer too, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like then the teams start getting bigger, so they need to get together and talk about all their ideas and their feelings and their feelings. People talk about their feelings in the meetings too. But yeah, so I try to keep them short. That's a tactical thing. It's hard too.
That actually you can keep it short if you plan before meetings,
Yeah.
such as what's the purpose of that meeting? What are the propositions? What kind of things you want to go through? If you have an agenda, if you list that down, it is true. Like you can actually keep it efficient and short.
Just ask, what are we doing here before we start? Like,
Yeah.
These are the things where okay, let's keep a focus. But then, the thing too is that sometimes on those meetings you want to have a little bit of serendipity, and then ideas come out of these random places. Remember this? Meetings don't have to be this; they could be this, but then you waste time. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, okay, that was. And do you have any tactical things to keep being more productive
With the meetings,
No, like any other thing, like something that is a little bit more tactical right now.
I really find first notifications are one of the biggest distractions for me.
Yeah.
Such as notifications on my phone, notifications on my computer. One thing I did to be productive is I try to work at work and don't work out of work.
Okay.
So notifications are usually, unless let's say that we are going through a very important project or it's an important time for the company or the project that I'm working on, when everything is more predictable or more stable, I do not want any notifications to my phone.
So you turn them off. Turn on notifications, turn off the apps, or what?
Yes,
what do you do?
pretty much.
Okay.
I first of all, I turn off my data plan when I'm out of the office, which means that I only get internet connection when I'm back at work or when I am in the context of working, which keeps me out when I'm out and in when I'm in. But when I'm back at work, I have everything in front of me, and I do my emails at batches, as said, a couple of times a day. I concentrate on them, go through them, I complete them, and move on without emails until the next batch.
Cool. That's a good tip. I'm never gonna do it. I always want to connect it, but for you guys, if you want to disconnect sometimes, that's
yeah. I mean,
that's
so far
actually-
there hasn't
will
been
help you.
anyone, perhaps, that hasn't got any answer from me, and the world is still up and going, so it should be fine.
Okay, so let's see if we have any questions from the
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
people.
read them.
So I can only be productive if I have my tasks written down before we start our work day.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Just like having a
go.
list that during in the morning. Like
Planning in the morning definitely helps, and maybe writing them down. That's a great one.
yeah, I usually like I started doing like post-its, and I do the list of my like soft goals for the day. It's just like I want to finish this, I want to have this, and then I just like it feels so good, right? When you finish something and then you Or if you are using Trello or whatever, and then it's a checklist, and then you turn it, it's just like, yeah, done. It feels so good. It's just like you can get addicted to that. So you turn into a behavior or something that is
I remember that.
that turns you on, right? It was like, okay, oh yes, I did it. I finished this. Now let's go to the next thing because I want to do this too. So yeah, having a list and preparing that way, I think it's great.
It's a great
to
one.
keep you more productive.
There you go.
Let's see. People from Barcelona, Brazil, Morocco,
Russia,
Romania. Yeah, Russia, San Francisco. Fabricio over there. Hi. What do you do when you're stuck on a design problem beyond taking a break?
Great question, Pablo. What do you do?
This is
Do you
Tiffany.
ever get stuck on
Tiffany,
a design
you.
problem?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
You do?
I think. Yeah, and suddenly you get stuck in a design loop, and then since you think you have the right answer, and then you just like start just designing around that probable wrong answer, and then you're just like you're thinking that you're doing more iterations, but it's just iterations of the same thing. It's just like the same thing with different color, so it is kind of, I would say, like, how do you get out of that loop, vicious loop? It's just like walking, like you were saying, taking a break.
But she says that
Without taking a break?
Beyond taking a break.
I think it's getting other people to see what you're working on, and getting other people to help you. It's just like open up, and we think that we are the ones that are going to solve every problem, and sometimes you just have to realize that you don't have all the answers, and you have to go to other people and ask them what they think about something, because they will probably have a different answer than you. So asking stakeholders, probably asking your users, just having a talk with someone else about it, and then you get someone that has a fresh view on it, right? So you probably get another idea, and you get a solution from someone else. So I think it's opening up is a good way for me.
True.
Just like getting other people to tell me, like,
Yeah.
do they think it's working? How would they do it? Is the problem worth our time? I don't know. It's talking to people.
Yes, I think that's definitely one great way. If you really like beyond taking a break usually works. If it is a very complicated problem, you just sleep on it, and then the next day approach it with a fresh mind.
Yeah.
Or you try to approach it from a different angle. That sometimes helps. But if these are not possible, talking to other people, getting their different perspective definitely helps.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we have. Well, see, Pablo, it's nice to see you live, man. Wow. Okay. Well, I wasn't there, so cool. So, getting other people's feedback. Yes.
No, the other one. Can you talk about organizing notes and research?
Yeah. Can you talk about organizing notes and research?
I can. Yes, because this is usually the way I approach. I like to throw things on table, like random ideas, like there's no structure at the beginning. And then I start to identify patterns and start categorizing them. And then think about, okay, what would be the best process to approach a problem, and then see how those ideas would be falling under those process steps. Then usually I have a roadmap of how to approach that problem, then I move forward with it.
Yeah, starting I like that, where it's like you start disorganized and then you start organizing.
Yes.
You start like diving down into what the problem is.
Yes. But one thing is very important for me. Before attacking to any problem, I always think what is the best way to attack that problem. So I always think about I design the process before the design itself.
Yeah. You design the process before the design itself. Yeah, I think it's I think it's obviously great to follow a process, right? And it's obviously great to just like trusting the process, and then the process will help you find the answer and keep on track. To keep organized, as organizing notes and research, I think one thing that I do, at least like you're saying, I take notes and I put it on Evernote, and like you're saying, I just like put everything and put it in bullet lists, and then like you're saying, just also like finding the patterns. Like something that I started doing at work is every every Friday I will send an email to my teammates, where it's like, hey, throughout the week, I talk to some users, and here are some notes, and I usually put it like, here are the good things and here are the bad things, and obviously sometimes it's a little bit more complex than just good and bad things. But usually it's good to keep the people motivated and just like what users are saying that really liked, and also like to keep on knowing like what are the opportunities for that. So I put myself a goal that I'm at the end of the week, I'm going to have this format ready for my teammates, and then that forces me to be organized. You know, that forces me to bring my notes together and put them in a way that is going to be a little bit more digestible for my teammates. You know, because I cannot just give them the notes. They're going to be like, dude, this is crazy. So I have to like you're saying, find the patterns, the things that I noticed, and then put them together for that. So
that's cool.
I think one way to do it is like forcing yourself to do something like this, where it's like every 2 weeks I'll have something, a document for my teammates or a presentation, I don't know, where you talk with your teammates for probably 30 minutes and look, guys, here's what we have found. We run some tests or we talk to users. I think it's great to just put in a goal, set in a goal for it, and then you'll find a way to organize it. Okay. Cool. So I think thank you. So do you have any other things to add to be more productive?
Not really. I think we went quite a bit of things.
Start with little things.
Yes. Make your bed.
Make your bed. Smile. Also
small things. Do it in batches.
Doing it in batches. Keep it in phases and just like
Say
lose
no.
the fear.
Yes, lose the fear. Or being afraid is okay.
Being afraid is okay. Yeah, but like. Exactly, that's true. That is true.
You don't have to lose the fear. Just being afraid is okay.
Use the fear.
Yeah.
Like use it in your favor to motivate.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Say no sometimes. Keep it effective and short. Your meetings especially.
Yeah, and then
get inspired.
And have a rough plan, but also understand that can change.
Exactly. So it's just not a single direct line, but. What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at a question. Sorry. So Fabrizio Teixeira, love this weekly email you send with here's what we learned from users. Curious, how do you share design references with your team?
Design references?
I don't understand. Could you explain a little bit better, Fabrizio? What do you mean by design references?
Just because you were saying that you share with your team, here are the things we learned from users.
Yeah.
I think Fabrizio is curious how do you share those design references, but I'm not really sure what he means by design references.
I would say, I will have a document. I usually share it on Slack, where it's like, hey guys, here are the things. So actually, I think what he means is like for this flow, like for example, I would separate it where the good things in onboarding, like the user on onboarding, these are the things that happen. And when they try to put their insurance card, these are the things that happen. So I will try to break it apart in different flows where they got stuck or where they, I suppose that's one way to put it, formatted. I think we're done, man.
Amazing. Yeah, sorry for the hiccup at the beginning. Thank you very much, guys.
We've been live for 1 hour.
Yeah, thank you very much for sticking with us. We appreciate it. Go to your natural, the other way.
It's the other way.
There you go.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yes. Are we going to do the music? Is that our music too?
Let's do the music. Thank you so much, everybody. Dude, Varsal guys, thank us. Subscribe. We have some. Oh, I didn't act like. Well, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then I'll share with you also. Just subscribe to our mailing list.
Yeah, we're gonna be a little bit more organized about that.
Yeah, we have to be a little bit more organized. But just subscribe to the channel, you get a notification about it. And thank you so much for joining us. Let's put some music and let's just start dancing.
Our favorite music.
Yeah.
Put the noise up.
Oh, I have to. Hold on. Subscribe. Have some. Well, subscribe. And I'll share. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Done some mambo. Thank you, guys. Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Love
Very
you.
great. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Talk to you next week.
And let's stop the streaming. Okay.